Hi, everyone.
Hi, Tatiana.
I love that you are all together. So nice. Reminds me of the days gone by. I loved Encanto so much, and all your characters too as well. Starting with Wilmer, I feel like having married into the Madrigal family, Agustin should relate a little bit to his daughter Mirabel. Can you talk about his role in this magical familia and how he feels about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the first conversations that I had with the directors was in the fact that he was desperately trying to fit into this magical family, but found that the fact that he didn't have a gift himself, he somehow channeled it as like, well, that's my gift, I guess. You know, that I don't have a magical power, but I'm here. You know what I mean? And I think and there was something very sweet about that demeanor, and I think it gave him this naive and sweet, misguided attempt at really connecting with his daughter. Like, hey, we're like the same, you know, like we're, you know, and I think that even though Isabella didn't see it as cool, it was very cool for his father to have that in common with her. And I think that's why it comes across later in the movie when at the crossroads, when they have to kind of stand up for one another, you know, but I think it was beautiful to build a character that could allow himself to feel like he belonged in a world where somehow he would not be the archetype of the men that will be married into a magical family.
Right.
There was something beautiful about that because all non-magical dads need representation on screen too.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about your character, Wilmer, is that, like, you know, normally what you would see in like a Latino family, like what the male represents is like, you know, the person who makes the decisions,
like so alpha,
you know, the alpha male, like very strong presence. And I thought that Wilmer's character was just such like the sweet dad and sort of like supporting of, you know, of playing his role in and not sort of like making his, you know, what he was going through or his presence or his non-magicalness sort of the center of what the problem was, and really was but that in itself was such an asset to the family. I saw a lot of my dad in that role, and how his approach to things and the way he has carried himself. And I really appreciated that gentleness that my dad had with me and that softness that he brought to my life. And I just think that all little girls need that, as a dad who's like supportive and knows how strong their daughters are.
Yeah, really willing to relate one-on-one.
Not to speak for men or fathers.
Not to speak for
Yeah.
Please carry on.
I love that. Now, Jessica, I love Luisa's story and the exploration of just like how sometimes being your family's strength, right, is a burden in and of itself. Can you talk about the conflict within her? Like, she wants to be the strong one, but you know, you can't always be strong, even when you're magically strong.
Yeah, you can't always be strong. I mean, listen, it's clear once the song starts, Luisa has a huge emotional life inside of her going on. And she discovers throughout the film that she is more than just super strength. And I think what's actually amazing is she discovers that it's not just physical strength that she possesses. She possesses a lot of emotional strength as well, and needs to be a rock for her family in a lot of ways. But I mean, her journey is something that I relate to personally as well. And I think especially recording through the pandemic, I related to this because, you know, I'm over here being an actor who's like, oh my God, thank God I have this like thing to work on. I mean, no one had the opportunity to work their whole, you know, obviously we did in like certain aspects, but it was a moment where we all had to take a break and really like step outside of ourselves and realize like, all right, what's really going on here? And Luisa does that throughout the film. I think she has to step outside of herself and be like, wait a second, I am more than just super strength. I'm more than just lifting churches. I actually have a lot of things inside of me that are special besides that. And I think I also realized that through the pandemic as well. It was actually a pretty profound personal emotional journey for me. And I felt very lucky that I got to go through that while playing Luisa. I think as I was building her character, I was building mine at the same time.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Very poetic.
I'm gonna have to up my game.
Right?
What about for you, Diane?
Yes.
For you, not
Well,
for
for
you.
me.
Not for you.
Yeah. You almost have the opposite arc in a way, Diane.
It's a perfect segue.
Finally.
Yeah. Yes, that because Isabela, it seems like everything is handed to her, right? Her life is literally a path of roses.
She actually
and yet
really worked hard. She
She did.
yes, she did.
I'm just no, go ahead.
No, but you know, her story blossoms, if you will, at a much slower rate, but there is also a lot of depth there. Can you talk about just all these layers? I don't know, petals falling off of her metaphors.
I love it. I love all the metaphors that you're bringing to this.
Thank you.
You know, I feel like that is a lot what happens to people like her.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
You should have laughed. Whoa,
We were waiting for
I don't know where that was going.
Yeah.
No, you know, I think when you get like gifts like that are seemingly like, you know, perfect and seamless and kind of like visually beautiful, like the gift of making beautiful flowers. I mean, but then sometimes you're given those gifts and people just kind of see it as just that, very like surfacey, like, okay, well, that's your gift. And so there's no need.
Associate you with the gift as opposed to who you are.
Exactly. And dig deeper, right? That's why sometimes when they tell you, you know, your trauma, your hardship is what makes you you and what makes you strong. And that's kind of like the diamond in the rough, right? Like having to work for those gifts sometimes you know, can reveal something even more beautiful, right? And sometimes we ignore people who we have to work on a little bit more, you know, but at the same time, it's such a disservice for even those people who seemingly have like, you know, all ready together, you know, because no one does. Everyone needs work. Everyone needs a little special attention and everybody needs to be listened to and cared for in different ways. Not everyone could just be like, okay, she's set.
Right.
Yeah, we're always going to be mid-journey for sure.
Yeah, and we all like flourish together. So it's not like give more attention to this person or let this person go. It's like we have to do it when one flourishes. There's no way. Like think about like a family of trees. You know, producing. They keep growing, and that's how
on to each other.
Yeah, and that's how
together.
a family works. You can't just like ignore one and just like you know.
I love the picture that you have painted of the garden of La Familia Madrigal. It was very beautiful.
So I love that.
Now, my last question would just be for each of you, who would you like to spend more time in that garden with from the film? If you could pick one character to explore your dynamic with.
Antonio, so I can talk to animals.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to walk with him. I'm trying to walk with him through a forest. I'm trying to see what the
I have
monkeys
so
are
many
saying. I'm trying to see
questions
what
to
the
this one
bears are saying.
communion. So many questions. Please come with me.
Yes.
I mean, there's another secret character in this movie that we don't speak of.
Oh,
That's who I'd like to spend more time with.
all right. Voldemort.
Can't say much more because I'm looking at everyone's frantically running behind this camera.
Yes.
But yes, but it is there is a secret character that is an unbelievable moment in this movie. We're hoping that you will want to spend time with him too.
Did you say Voldemort?
I did say Voldemort. He must not be named. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I have to go now. You guys are fabulous. I cannot wait for the world to witness the glory that is Encanto.
Yes.
Have a great day.